Back again with another update on the broader market. Shout out to you guys for showing tremendous amount of love on these updates. Let's take a look at as to what's happening across the board today as of November 11th and what we could be expecting as we are obviously going further into the week. So looking across the board, we're seeing pretty much the entire market seeing a retracement, as you can see for yourself. Everything seems to be down except a few handful coins. But again, I want you guys to zoom out because if you're looking at the broader market on the weekly time frame, you're still seeing substantial increase for the broader market. So that is nice to see, of course, but still that does not mean we ignore the price of Bitcoin. But today we are seeing a retracement, as you can see for yourself. So what's really causing that? I'm going to share that with you guys in my opinion. But before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So you can see for yourself across the board right now, we are seeing a retracement, and that is due to, of course, Bitcoin sitting at $102,800 price point, as you could see for yourself. But what really ended up happening over the weekend, we did open up, a CME gap at $104,000, and you could see that did end up filling. So was that really, the main reason why, we did see, the price of Bitcoin going down to close this, CME gap before heading towards the upside? Again, we want to be looking very closely, aside from the CME gap, we need to be looking closely to, where Bitcoin is currently sitting. Even though the, CME gap is now filled, we just cannot ignore where the Bitcoin price is currently sitting. So you can see for yourself, Bitcoin has filled its CME gap, but let's take a closer look and see what's happening. So, in the market analysis, whether you're holding Solana, whether you're holding XRP, whether you're holding, anything at this point, it does have an impact because, this is a broader market update. But you can see for yourself, as far as a dominance is concerned, you're still seeing the dominance staying stagnant. Within this pattern, I highlighted this to you guys in my update last night, how, pretty much since November 7th, we've been ranging just below the 60% mark. We've seen several different retests, for the dominance above 60%. You can see for yourself multiple ones, but every single time, we have pretty much come down. And you can see, we wicked up to 60.07% not too long ago. And you can see, obviously, that happened last night, and so on and so forth. But we were literally sitting at 59.79% not too long ago before, we did see this major spike. But with that being said, could we break out of this and start heading up to the likes of 60.2% as to, where we were just a few days back? Could that really be the next thing to be looking out for, based off of what Bitcoin is doing? And remember, if you watch the Crypto ZX channel, what have I been saying to you guys? Even if the price of Bitcoin is able to go up to $107,000 or even $108,000, I'm not too optimistic. And you can see for yourself, Bitcoin is sitting at $102,644. Yes, definitely we could be, retracing due to, obviously, the price of Bitcoin and market makers trying to, see the Bitcoin close the CME gap. But with that said, now you just cannot ignore where the price of Bitcoin is coming across. You can see for yourself, we do have some support around the $102,000 price point. At this point, this level should be a very important level that you guys should already know. We've talked about that on the channel quite a bit. That's obviously the October 10th wick low, and you can see for yourself we're very close to that. Very, very close. You don't want to see the price of Bitcoin closing below here. That's only about a 0.5% move from where we currently are. Breaking below here takes us back down to the 38.2 key support line at $100,000, potentially even breaking below the 100K, and maybe retesting some of the levels we've been speaking about on the channel, that I've obviously discussed with you guys for quite some time. So could this really be the time where Bitcoin actually does push back below these levels before we start heading towards the upside? Obviously, in terms of rumors that are flying around, we are to see the government shutdown coming to an end on Wednesday. So tomorrow there's some rumors in regards to that. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. So could we really see a flush before we start seeing the price of Bitcoin going towards the upside? Again, now time in time out, even though we did see a nice bounce, again, a lot of altcoins are still up. Like I said, a lot of altcoins are still feeling significant amount of love over the course of the last 1 week, but we still want Bitcoin to be at some confirmation level. For us specifically, obviously the 23.6 bare minimum level, and obviously start heading up to our confirmation zone. But Bitcoin needs to hold above 102. If it's unable to do that, I am expecting Bitcoin to break below $100,000 and maybe retest some of the levels we actually have not seen, you could say, pretty much since June. Obviously $98,000, which which we did retest just on the past few days, I could be still something in play, and I would expect the dominance to break out from here. So that's something I want you guys to keep in mind. Bitcoin is something we don't want to be ignoring. Again, we would want the whales to come in, meaning bulls to take charge when the price of Bitcoin, if it were to drop below the $102,000, to come in and take some control at the 100K price point. But if we lose that support, you guys know we could be retesting some of these other lower levels. Obviously, as far as the trajectory is concerned, I've highlighted this to you guys before. If this pattern were to play out, Bitcoin could actually go down to $86,000 if this pattern were to play out, of course. And that obviously is something I want you guys to still keep in mind. Pretty much a break in below the 0.50 fib zone. That's like a 93 no, sorry, that's a $92,300 price point. Breaking below here, again, it's not unrealistic to be thinking that this could become a reality. That's about a 7% move towards the downside after the 0.50. But we do have at the same time significant amount of support around the 0.50 fib zone. So could that be in play? What I want you guys to understand is we were at 98,000 just a few days back. That's only a move of about 6.3% additional for it to retest that 92K key range. Again, that's something I want you guys to be aware of. The significance of these levels. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Maybe this is why the dominance did not budge over the last few days. But again, we got to take it step by step. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Obviously, we would be having a different conversation if the price of Bitcoin is able to get back into the 23.6. But as of now, we are about to retest a key support line, and we would want that key support line to hold. Love you all. See you later in crypto, ZX, and peace.